most excited about?
Well, I'm certainly Gilberto because he's fighting Arthur Abraham, a champion for 4 or 5 years, terrific fighter, and that's the biggest, the most high stakes fight maybe on the whole card is can Gilberto with his size and his the way he throws punches, so many punches, can he overwhelm an experienced great champion like Arthur Abraham?
Bob, were you surprised when you heard the Manny Pacquiao comments that got him in a lot of trouble?
Well, you know, religion is a funny thing, and when people get off on religion and make statements based on their religious belief, God knows what comes out of their mouth. I mean, I talked to Manny. He didn't want to hurt or speak bad about any people. But, you know, a lot of times when they talk about religion and ancient verses, whether it's the Old Testament or the New Testament, you get into trouble.
You know, you spoke about Jessie Vargas, and I know you were interested in Danny Garcia. We interviewed him. He mentioned Jessie Vargas' name too. How seriously are you going to pursue a fight between those two champions?
Well, first we're going to have Jessie spend another couple of weeks enjoying his title, and then we'll look around for an opponent. You know, we'll have to see. You know, one possibility that we've heard talk about is maybe Miguel Cotto is looking for an opponent. So Jessie would certainly give Cotto the opportunity.
You know, those for Cotto, I also heard Juan Manuel Marquez. Bob, have you talked to Juan, and is that fight even a serious possibility at this point?
No, it's not. No. Forget that. It's not a possibility. We really don't even know if Marquez will be in physical shape to resume his career. I think the best guy to talk to about that is Nacho Beristain.
You know, as far as Terence Crawford, Bob, I read that he's going to headline his own first pay-per-view. Is it going to be on a grand scale like HBO Full, or is it going to be more on the lower scale like the Latin Fury cards that you used to do?
Oh, it'll be probably midway. You know, it's not a pay-per-view that we anticipate doing 800,000 buys or more. It's more of, you know, about 300 where, you know, but it will be a big pay-per-view. It'll have some great fights on the card, and that's what we're planning for July 23rd, maybe in Los Angeles.
Is it still difficult to, you know, Provodnikov was the guy you guys were looking at now. Is it difficult to kind of target an opponent now for Crawford? Is it becoming a difficult thing, or do you guys have names in mind already?
No, we have names in mind, and we're working on a very, very opponent. I think it's more difficult than Provodnikov, and let's see if we can come to terms.
Can't give that name out?
No. But it will definitely be a top opponent.
You stated you had a lot of problems with putting together Lomachenko and Walters and HBO really getting behind it with
HBO is now behind us. The question is, will Walters fight for what will be his biggest payday, and I think a tremendous payday, or will he continue to hold out for money that's just not there?
How confident are you that he'll eventually come to his senses?
That's up to him, man. I ain't confident about, you know, how can I say, you know, I don't know what's in his head, but we have a list of other opponents for Lomachenko, and Lomachenko's definitely fighting in Madison Square Garden on June 11th.
What is the cutoff date for Walters to give you the okay before you guys move on?
You know, next few days, maybe Monday of next week. There's no cutoff date. You know, we're talking to other people now.
Will that fight be at 126 or 130?
130.
Bob, I know, with all due respect, I know you mentioned wanting to work without Heyman and he should call you, but are you willing to also pick up the phone and give him a call to make some of these fights happen? I know you've said Danny Garcia.
Which fight?
Garcia Vargas.
Well, you're the first one to tell me that Garcia wants to fight him. So, you know, Vargas is happy to fight Garcia. So, you know, let me know. I mean, it doesn't have to be Heyman. Let the father let me know. Somebody. And then we'll see if we can get it done. But I think if we're able to make a Vargas fight with Cotto, it's a bigger fight.
Back to Cotto, you said that Jesse's willing to give him the shot there, but have you talked to Cotto and has he acknowledged that he would like to go back down to 147?
Nobody's talking about 147. We haven't even discussed weight. We haven't discussed anything. Vargas told me, and he told the press, that he would like to fight Cotto. Somebody from the Cotto camp reached out to me today to say if that's real. I said, yes, it is real. Now I'm waiting to hear from them. We haven't talked about weight or anything else.
As far as Manny Pacquiao, Bradley, how has Manny been looking? I don't know if you had a chance to see him, but how is he looking now that he's back in the States?
Well, he looked lousy last week, but that could be jet lag. And I understand on Monday he looked tremendous yesterday. So we'll have to see. But I think Manny realizes that he's not fighting the same old Bradley, that this is the best Bradley that he's ever fought because Teddy is into his head, and Teddy is a psychologist, and in a good way, because a psychologist in a sport, a coach, convinces a guy that he's capable of giving a performance that he is capable of but doesn't believe he is. So Atlas is able to convince Bradley that he's capable of a lot more than Bradley even thought that he was capable of. And also, Teddy is a genius as a tactician, getting a fight plan. So I think if Manny isn't a top Manny, he is going to struggle with Bradley.
And as far as the shoulder, Bob, is he looking 100%? Have you talked to him
The
about
shoulder's great, absolutely great. I regret in a lot of ways because I didn't even know about the fact that he had tore his rotator cuff even before he fought De La Hoya. But you see, with a torn rotator cuff, you can continue to actively participate in sports until you re-injure it. Like I understand there are major league pitchers who are pitching in the major leagues, getting guys out consistently, and they have 80 or 90% tears of their rotator cuff. Just depends. So, but now the tear, he had a 50% tear. It's totally repaired, and he's hitting harder with the right hand than the left hand, or at least as hard. I haven't seen him ever, maybe years ago when he fought Morales, hit as hard with the right hand as he's hitting now.
Has HBO taking somewhat of a step back from promoting this fight due to Manny Pacquiao's controversial comments a few months ago?
Not at all. Not at all.
Have you been able to visit Tim Bradley in camp? How was he looking?
Tim Bradley looks terrific because Tim Bradley is like flying on a cloud because of Atlas. Atlas has convinced Tim Bradley that he's Superman, which is good. I mean, hey, those are the great coaches that can do that.
any update on Mikey Garcia? He said he might have some good news maybe end of this month, but has there been any progress as far as resolving that issue finally?
No, I haven't heard anything from him. We're involved in stupid litigation for no reason.
Would you still be willing to offer him any fights at this point, Bob, to get the contract kind of done? I mean, he told me he'd take the Crawford fight if it was offered to him.
What?
He said he would take the Crawford fight if it was...
He would take the Crawford fight for twice what Crawford is getting. You know, that's not taking a fight.
Should he not get the upside, Mikey? What? Should he not get the upside of the purse? Is that what you're talking about, the purse?
No. He wants more money to fight Crawford than Crawford is getting. Now, that's ridiculous. Crawford's the champion, and Crawford now is the go-to guy with HBO and with the public, and Garcia hasn't fought in over 2 years. So why should he get more? That's crazy.
So Crawford would be the A side going into a fight with Mikey.
Absolutely, of course he would.
So basically, no movement has been done since, from what you know, as far as the Mikey Garcia situation.
No.